You have to get physical if you look at basketball history, high school, college, WNBA, and the NBA. If there is an offensive player, as I mentioned last year, you have to call the fouls that are actually occurring on the floor. She kind of hip checked and slashed like she pushed Caitlin Clark, causing her to fall. Sometimes the WNBA isn't a vertical league. After a game full of elbows, hip checks, and even an eye poke, the network dismissed it as a mere altercation, but fans aren't buying that for a second. Just when it seemed like the Caitlin Clark chaos had finally subsided, NBC Sports jumped in and turned up the heat. Second, is NBC behaving as if nothing has changed? Was Sophie Cunningham simply being tough, or did she go too far? The storyline. Protection and power plays are what are creating the most talked about story in the WNBA right now. So you have to put a body on her. You need to get physical if you look at basketball history. Steph, Shaq, MJ, Caitlin, and other offensive players are humiliating you. You can't trap her because she will dribble through it. You have to put a body on her, double team her, and try to get in her dot. It's not working at all. But in my opinion, it's the ultimate compliment. It's another hectic Caitlin Clark Wednesday, with the buzzing cameras locked in and the WNBA taking center stage once more. However, this time, the headlines aren't about her logo range threes or no-look dimes dot hits and who's cool with them. In a recent segment, NBC Sports seemed to minimize contact, dismissing egregious fouls and eye jabs as if they were normal. Sophie Cunningham got fired up, going hard and possibly going overboard. So what's actually happening here is if this is simply the price of being a superstar, or did things go too far? Let's examine it. Later in the game, Marina Mabrey appeared to poke her in the eye. Since she was a player for Notre Dame, I must naturally defend her. However, Marina Mabrey doesn't 1 point in the game. I believe J.C. Sheldon received a flagrant one for the eye poke, but everyone else was given technicals. It's what bravery does. Yes, she's going to step in and defend her teammate. So she kind of hip-checked / like pushed Caitlin Clark, and Caitlin Clark fell dotted. Began with a foul, but this wasn't just any whistle. Sheldon and Caitlin Clark, two rivals with Big Ten history, had been jawing since the second quarter, and it wasn't friendly banter. There may be some criticism that Marina Mabrey should have been ejected there, but I think that's definitely up for debate. Lip readers saw Clark hurling expletives, demonstrating how intense this match had gotten. Then Sheldon's hard reach caught Clark in the face, and the referees deemed it a flagrant one. However, it didn't end there. Marina Mabrey continued to dish it out, and I believe it's 8 would be disrespectful to her as an athlete to act as though she is incapable of handling it. I believe that she is capable of playing competitive basketball and aggressive, hard basketball, and that she can engage in smack talk with other players as part of her game. Should be honored, as well as her long threes, which are the qualities we admire in athletes. For that reason, I believe that this conversation has gotten out of hand and that she is being protected. So I doubt that she will curse at other players and get into other players' phases. I agree that there should be a discussion about Clark, who has emerged as a major source of content, or we could discuss Aaron Rodgers, who I am for. Then they should be able to return to her phase, and the referee should be able to impose penalties if it goes too far. Which is what they did. Last night, Caitlin Clark texted me, "The gift that never stops coming." It was obvious that NBC Sports wasn't condemning Caitlin Clark's hits. Rather, they were defending them to the network. This wasn't about dirty play. Rather, it was about dominance. Clark didn't just join the WNBA. She blew the doors off. She's already at the top of almost every offensive statistic and is making more three-pointers than Steph Curry did during his MVP prime. Her game humiliates you in addition to beating you, and you have two options: trap her or take her down. The media presented it as a throwback, and I do believe that the media want to start with this because the WNBA has arrived and Caitlin Clark has gotten really good very fast. It's like the end of Michael Jordan's first or third year. The media is prone to doing this, and the fans usually get it more than the media. This is what happened to MJ. She's now number 1 and 2 in every offensive stat and is making more three-pointers. It's gotten really good very quickly, and you have to put a body on her or double team her, or she's going to embarrass you. She's shooting 33-footers this season compared to Steph Curry's first MVP season, and her performance makes you feel embarrassed. In men's basketball, JCS Sheldon was tasked with stopping the newest star in her league. A move straight out of Michael Jordan's playbook. They compared it to what Moses offered from the Bad Boy Pistons, who claimed that it was only a part of the process and that Sophie Cunningham, the youngest player in Moses history, was brought to Indiana not only as a player, but also as protection because, in NBC's opinion, the Fever saw the storm coming and she was prepared for this moment, earning a black belt by the age of 6, since Sophie was their go-to person. They weren't shocked when things went physical and instead referred to it as classic, old school, just basketball. It's also important to note, in my opinion, that the Sun aren't the best WNBA team. In fact, they're the worst, not the worst. Even though the Dallas Wings are a terrible team, the Fever are a team that can win a championship. At the end of the game, with most of the starters out, the Fever were ahead by 17 points. And Sophie Cunningham made the decision to stop JCS Sheldon from scoring on a layup. And that's when the fracas started. I would say that before the fracas, it was just basketball players protecting their teammates. Then, in the fourth quarter, the fracas happened, and it took the referees about 10 minutes to decide what to do. Dan also weighed in, pointing out that the same plays that were labeled dirty the eye poke, the hip checkered in the NBA. They ended up ejecting a number of players, including Lindsay Allen, which I don't like. I don't even know what she did, but she looked like she was trying to break it up. It was just very silly. NBC didn't drag her at all. In fact, they made it seem as though Indiana knew exactly what they were doing. At the time, however, when Caitlin Clark became involved, it was breaking news. Jessica defended Marina McBraw, claiming that she was just doing what any teammate should do, standing up for herself. When things got heated, Kane Clark forced Caitlin Clark to return to action. And 300,000 people showed up. So yes, people said, "I'll wait." After waiting, they returned, and then some when they waited and returned. And then Caitlin Clark didn't just walk into the WNBA. She exploded onto the scene. The NBA made it very evident that this isn't your typical rookie. She is a full-fledged phenomenon, making assists and logo-range threes like a seasoned veteran. Her game is unstoppable and impossible to stop. The Fever were at the bottom of the league before Caitlin arrived. But now they're selling out arenas, smashing TV records, and on some nights, even outdrawing the Pacers. They even drew the ultimate comparison, Michael Jordan, just like MJ's early days. What a damn day would have so far with Sophie Cunningham, who is thriving, trending everywhere, and now retweeting all the drama. Sophie has essentially made herself a star, and she was already well-known, but now she is extremely well-known, and party accounts have been created on her. Let's move to Twitter now. Though, where the NBA didn't mince words when they acknowledged that Clark plays with fire, getting in opponents' faces and bringing a significant edge to the field. However, when players push back, it's not personal. That's basketball, and if things go out of hand, that's why the referees are there. They intervened when it counted Marina Maybury, which is inappropriate. Many believed she should have been removed from the game, but she received a technical. It's a little Bad Boys Pistons with MJ. For the record, Caitlin Clark got up and wasn't hurt, did more trash talking, hit more threes, and stayed amazing, just like all the greats. If you respect women, stop pandering. As for the flopping talk, NBC dismissed it as a normal tactic to get a tech shift momentum and gain an advantage. It's nothing new, Jessica noted. NBC's message was very clear in the end. Caitlin Clark doesn't need protection. She just needs space to play her game. She is physically fearless and unapologetically bold. And I believe it is a disservice to her as an athlete to act as though she can't handle it. One aspect of her game that should be honored is her ability to play competitive basketball and aggressive hard basketball. She can also engage in smack talk with other players, and her long threes are the things that with Sophie Cunningham responded forcefully to Caitlin Clark's egregious foul and I poke. It wasn't a subtle takedown, and NBC didn't pretend to be either. Instead, they called it what it was: retaliation, a message, and a throwback to the old school. She was knocked down by Charles Oakley, who had Michael Jordan's back, Marina Maberry. Many people believed she should have been removed from the game, but she didn't receive a technical. It's just a little bad boys Pistons with MJ. For the record, Caitlin Clark got up and wasn't hurt. Did more trash talking, hit more threes, and stayed amazing, just like all the greats. The NBA presented it as a league-wide warning: come at our star, and we're coming for yours. The crowd wasn't upset. Instead, they were excited, cheering, and loving every second. The WNBA recently had its WWE moment in Indiana, and they didn't cringe. In fact, they welcomed it. They brought Sophie Cunningham over in a trade for a reason. She's the youngest black belt in Missouri history, and they brought her over to protect Caitlin. To them, it wasn't dirty. It was drama. It was theater. Clark, because the league didn't know what to do when they saw this puppy arrive. But the Fever did, so once more, you had to put a body on her and physically assault Marina Maberry. This is inappropriate. Many people believed she should have been kicked out of the game, but she got it. Not to get technical, but it's a little bad boys Pistons with MJ. For the record, Caitlin Clark got up, wasn't hurt, and continued to be amazing, just like all the greats. You respect women, stop pandering to them. She didn't just join the WNBA. Exploded onto the scene, and the National Basketball Council painted a clear picture of her. She is not just a rookie. She is a phenomenon, averaging more assists than anyone had anticipated and draining deep 33-foot shots. Her game is flashy, quick, and unmissable. And they compared her rise to that of Michael Jordan. It's like MJ's first years. The Fever were at the bottom before Caitlin arrived, but now they're packing arenas, shattering TV numbers, and even drawing more fans than the Pacers on some nights. I do believe the media is prone to doing this because, well, they tend to be pretty reactionary. Fans typically receive it more than the media. So let me start with this, Jamak. The WNBA has arrived, and Caitlin Clark has gotten really good very quickly. It's like Michael Jordan's year 1 or year 3 coming to an end. And you have to put a body on her, or this is what happened to Michael Jordan. She is ranked first and second in every offensive statistic. She is making more three-pointers this season than Steph Curry did in his first MVP season. And she is shooting 33-footers. You must double-team her or she will embarrasses you. For example, in men's basketball, JCS Sheldon was tasked with stopping the newest basketball star in her league. They recognize that Clark is aggressive, swearing, and plays with an edge, and that when players push back, it's not personal. If it crosses the line, that's basketball. For the flopping claims, NBC chalked it up to standard tactics. Jessica even stated that selling a foul is part of the sport, a way to gain a technical, get an edge, and shift momentum. In the end, NBC made one thing clear: the line. The referees are there to handle it, which in this case, they eventually did. Caitlin Clark obviously doesn't need to be saved. She just needs room to play the game the way she always has, which is physically demanding and unapologetic. Was it dirty play, or was the game simply becoming more intense? NBC Sports described it as a fracas, pure competitive fire. But when Caitlin Clark is involved, every shovelin, I told you I wanted to talk about this. I said it was a fracas, and I stand by that designation. I don't think this was anything more than a fracas. It wasn't an agree-disagree situation. But it wasn't something that was just doing her job either. Tumblr. and I'd like to know what you think about what you witnessed last night. Starting with the Sheldon foul on Caitlin Clark, which resulted in a poke to the eye, and what transpired next. As I mentioned multiple times last year, the WNBA is not a vertical league, and this should be celebrated for physical basketball. We wouldn't be leading parades that the NBA needs to protect, because, according to NBC, it's part of the game to protect a star who is changing the course of events. However, as the hits continue to come in, do you think this is how we celebrate greatness or how we try to stop it? So, please share your thoughts in the comments section. Drama or just plain obscene music? Press the subscribe button and share button for more unvarnished perspectives on WNBA Heat, as this narrative is only beginning.